Hello everyone, it is a beautiful day in Suzhou. I am in Suzhou. I took the weekend, went back to Suzhou to see some friends and to do some dog stuff. And so we can't really talk about Chinese dog shelters without talking about current Chinese dog culture and dog raising culture. Chinese pet culture is exploding right now. It's exploding, and there's so many people are getting dogs often for the first time, and they're getting there's the dog food business is exploding, and leashes and all these different things. But like I mentioned, it's often for the first time. Many people my age and older, previous generations, didn't grow up with pet dogs. They grew up with dogs kind of running around, semi-strays, and, dogs you kind of throw food at sometimes and kind of kick out the way other times. And this, I'm generalizing a little bit, but people didn't really grow up with walking their German Shepherd every day sort of culture. So there's a lot of people in China now who are starting to get dogs for the first time. They have disposable income. They are waiting to get married, waiting to have children, so they want to get a dog. Problem is they didn't grow up with dogs, not in the pet ownership, the full pet ownership sense. And so a lot of them will get a small dog, and those are very, very popular in China, the teddies. But a lot of people would also get big dogs, or they'll also get dogs that have a lot of needs. Border collies are very popular where I live. So someone got a Belgian Malinois. So you get a Border Collie, you get a Belgian Malinois, and you have no dog experience. Guess how fucking great that works out. So they get these big dogs, they can't handle the big dogs, and these big dogs will end up in shelters. Sometimes, not all the times, but often, this Belgian Malinois, in that same shelter, there's a pit bull mix, there's an Anatolian Shepherd, a livestock guardian breed, and that's ridiculous. And so here's the problem, though. Getting these dogs adopted out is very hard. Because I will say, I might have given the wrong idea. Most people don't want a big dog. Most people know better, that they do actually know what it takes, more or less. They know what it takes to have a big dog, and they know that they don't have the time and they don't have the experience. And so for these dogs in these shelters, these big dogs in the shelters, the chances of them getting adopted out is really low. So a lot of shelters do rely on finding adopters, people to adopt the dogs in other countries. This particular shelter finds adopters from Germany, from USA, from Canada. This is a very, very common thing. Just because the demand for these big dogs is, no one's going to find them. The chance of getting them adopted in China are very low, and especially because a lot of cities in China have laws against big dogs, because of a lot of incidents of people who got big dogs, couldn't handle them, and then it went wrong. And it's an interesting situation. A lot of parts I'm kind of generalizing a little bit, and it might be not being so clear. But basically it boils down to the fact that dogs like this, this Belgian Malinois, which is is what they use for police and military, have a very low chance of getting adopted. And a lot of the dogs in that shelter might never leave the shelter. The money on Sweetest Dew goes to a shelter in Huangshan, and there's been Alaskan Malamute in that shelter for at least 6, 7, 8 years. So this is Charlie. Charlie was the first dog I really fell in love with at the shelter. Bull mix. There's definitely some pit bull in him. Charlie! He doesn't remind me anymore. There's definitely some you see the pit bull in him. But he's also not purebred pit bull, and I think even judging by his coat, I think he's a Labrador mix. Fucking sweetheart, but that shelter is very stressful. And so for dogs who are a little more fuck around, find out, Malinois, pit bulls and whatnot, it can lead to some aggression, and there was an incident with him, so he gets walked very rarely. So this is a new dog. I believe this is an Anatolian Shepherd or Anatolian Livestock Guardian. It's a Livestock Guardian. I've never met one in real life. Yeah, so, Jesus Christ, it's massive. Oh yeah.